Do you struggle with those court card meanings? So many people do. Even people who have been reading tarot for a while really struggle with them. And there's a reason for that. There are so many different ways to read the court cards during a tarot reading, and they can seem so similar when you compare one court card to another card from your deck. There's really not a lot of personality information shown on most tarot decks when it comes to those court cards. But when you dive a little bit deeper and you take a look at how they relate to each other and see the patterns and logic behind them, it's actually quite easy to tell them apart. So this is the third video of a 4-part tarot court card series. Today, we're going to go over the Queen court cards one by one and see what makes them similar and how they're different from each other. And then I'm going to compare them to the Pages, the Knights, and the Kings. Hello there, I'm Angie from The Simple Tarot, which is all about helping you learn how to read tarot cards so you can use them as tools for creativity, for self-care, for personal development, and just fun. And the Queen Tarot court cards, they represent all of those things. They represent creativity and self-development and personal self-care and plenty of fun too. So let's get to know them better, all right? If you haven't yet grabbed your copy, download the PDF Court Card Map, which is this free printable tool. It's going to help you map the people in your life to the individual court cards. And this is so helpful because during a tarot reading, you can then use it as a cheat sheet to determine if there's someone in your life and who that person is, or if you need to read the court card in a different way. So it's also going to be helpful right now if you pause the video, grab your tarot deck or your favorite tarot decks and pull all the queens out, and so we can take a look at them one by one and see how they're same and how they're different. On my good days, I really like to picture myself as the Queen of Wands, at least as it relates to my work here at The Simple Tarot. I don't know if I'm fooling myself really, but everyone I know, everyone, they want to be a queen or a king in their own lives. Not many people are really all that eager to be pages or knights, frankly, especially the pages. But there is a specific energy that goes into being a queen, and this video is going to explain all of that, as well as covering all of the queen cards. So, when it comes to the tarot court cards, kings and queens are masters of their domain, with kings being the master of the visible world, the external active world, and queens mastering their inner worlds and being more behind the scenes. So queens are filled with a receptive, drawing in inner strength, while the kings are more active and out there. This does not mean that queens are passive, however. They are active participants in their own world. They just turn their energies inward, and they rule their queendoms with a more behind-the-scenes type of ruling power. So unlike the pages and the knights, which are at the beginning and the middle of their journeys, the queens have certainty and a self-assurance that really comes through hard-won wisdom and experience. Overall, queens are internally focused, receptive, and they do their work behind the scenes, although it often seems like they really are not working at all. They have this just magic that makes it seem like wonderful things just happen around them without their input or direction. But do not be fooled. The queens are in control, and they are a master or mistress, I guess, of accomplishing their goals. They just do it with different energy than the kings do. So it's not that kings are higher and queens are lower. They're really equal partners. They're just masters of accomplishing things in different ways. So the queens have faced their own dark side and have come out stronger. They remember their periods of limitation, of fear, of struggle, and of stuckness. And although they have moved far past that dark place, they feel deep empathy for anyone who is experiencing that type of pain. So their energy is really receptive and understanding. It's compassionate, intuitive. They are super busy and involved, but they really do want to help you. And for them, personal connections, their personal network, it's totally vital to them, even if it really does seem like they spend a lot of time alone or on their own. So queens can be women, but they can also be men. And if the queen is someone in your life, it's going to be someone who uses surprising levels of strength to protect, nurture, and defend who and what they love. They are far more complex than they seem. And it is really key, this phrase: protect, nurture, and defend what they love. That's what a queen does. So queens need from you loyalty, discretion, and authenticity. And they offer connections, wisdom, and mentorship. So when we're thinking about the queens, the energy really is, I am a wise protector of. And this is an example, but we're going to dive into each individual queen in a minute. But the energy of the queen plus the energy of the suit, and if you're not sure what I mean by energy of the suit, the elemental energies and the 4 suits is discussed in this video. But we're going to look at the queens, I am a wise protector of, along with the 4 elemental energies of each suit. So the Queen of Cups is a wise protector of kindness and her relationships. And the Queen of Pentacles is a wise protector of resources and her physical body. Queen of Swords is a wise protector of justice and fairness. Queen of Wands is a wise protector of passions, goals, and ideas. So now pull out your PDF court card map. If you haven't gotten it already, you can just click here and think of someone in your life who has the wise, compassionate, powerful inner strength of the queens. This is going to be a man or a woman, so don't think it's just women. But can you think of anyone who has that sort of deep certainty, sense of self, and wise compassion? Are they a Cups energy where that they rule the realm of the emotions? Or are they a Swords where they're all about justice and fairness? What realm are they a master of? Combine the energy of the queens with the energy of the suits to find which card the people of your life are. But let's walk through each of these 4 queens in detail so you can get to know them and their personalities. The Queen of Cups is a wise protector of kindness and her relationships. And this tarot card is the ruler of your inner emotions. In the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith based decks, the Queen of Cups sits on her throne on the beach, contemplating an ornate goblet in her hand. She is totally focused on what is in front of her. This queen wants you to love completely without giving up too much of yourself. This card is not about self-denial or codependent love. This card, like all of the court cards, often represents an actual person in your life. So this is going to be someone, a man or a woman, who is deeply loving, sensitive, and compassionate. The Queen of Cups can also represent a role you're ready to play or a message that you are ready or need to hear. If it's time to take on the role of the Queen of Cups, look toward your close relationships and your community activities for inspiration, and model this queen's behavior by setting and maintaining strong personal boundaries before you give your time or your energy to other people. If you trust yourself to protect your boundaries, you will have nothing to fear by loving deeply, selflessly, and with joy. And when you are living this queen's message, you can own your own feelings and express yourself freely, while also being a deeply loving and nurturing person. The Queen of Pentacles is a wise protector of resources and her body. In the Rider-Waite-Smith tradition, this card shows the queen sitting on a throne carved with pears and other fruit. She's holding a pentacle in her hands, and there's a cute little bunny in the corner, but she kind of looks lonely. Her focus is inward. Like all of the court cards, the queen can represent an actual person in your life, but if it's not someone else, it might be a role you're ready to play, you're currently playing, or that you're a message that you're ready to hear. This card, when it represents a specific person, represents a nurturing someone, male or female, who has an absolute loving, gentle, and wise demeanor. The Queen of Pentacles is really the most motherly of all queen court cards, at least in that traditional domestic sense. She also has the very best garden of all the queens, where everything is constantly in bloom. She has created abundance through daily discipline and a healthy approach to life. She loves nature and is a resourceful manager of everything in her domain. This is a card of domesticity, homesteading, and fertility. The Queen of Swords is a wise protector of justice and fairness. The Queen of Swords tarot card, like all tarot cards, often represents an actual person in your life. And this can also mean a role you are playing or you need to play. So if this is an actual person, it's going to be a man or a woman who is a fierce, fierce protector. Traditionally, this card shows a strong and beautiful woman sitting on a throne. She's holding a sword upright in her right hand, and she's gesturing with her left. The throne, the crown, and her dress are all covered with butterflies. The Queen of Swords is a perceptive and independent person. She might be a widow, widower, or has otherwise suffered some sort of loss, loneliness, or deep grief. These lessons have taught her to be shrewd, stern, and impartial in her love, but she is insanely loving. This queen is logical, intellectual, and she never acts rashly. So especially if she is a woman, you might not like her. Many people think she's a cold bitch, but she's always objective and fair, and her heart is in the right place. So just because people may not like her energy, really, it's often just society looking down at a woman who is always, always speaking her truth. This woman calls things as they are, and she is a fearless critic of ignorance, unfairness, and injustice. So while she can be frightening or intimidating, it is really safe to take your mask around her. She loves the underdog, loves them, and she will accept reality, including the weaknesses and failures of herself and others. So don't fear making mistakes in front of her. Just don't ever really make the same mistake twice, unless you're trying to learn your lesson. She will call you out on that. The Queen of Wands is a wise protector of her own passions, goals, and ideas, as well as others' passions, goals, and ideas. So the Queen of Wands tarot card shows a woman sitting on a throne, holding a wand in one hand and a sunflower in the other. There's a black cat in front of her. This queen is self-assured with a lot of personal magnetism. She has explored and mastered that dark places of her soul, which is often represented by that black cat, and she has come out transformed. So this card can represent an actual person in your life, of course, just like every other court card, but it can also represent a role you must play or a message you're ready to hear. So if this card is representing someone in your life, it's going to be a woman or a man who is assertive and popular, usually with overflowing confidence. This doesn't necessarily mean they're an extrovert or public in the way they deal with the world, but people do really seem to be drawn in with this magnetism that the queen has. Professionally, the queen will be in an executive position, probably some sort of boss. And in the home realm, this is someone who is really a gracious and easy host with a deep love for animals. But despite her comfort and ease, she's really more of like a lion than a house cat or a lioness. The queen has achieved self-knowledge and self-mastery. She easily balances a boundless creative energy with such radiant self-assurance that you can't help but be drawn in by her enthusiasm. This queen has achieved self-knowledge and self-mastery. She easily balances a boundless creative energy with such radiant self-assurance that you can't help but be drawn in by her enthusiasm and her commitment. She is ambitious and powerful, but she does not hog the spotlight. When this card represents a role you must play or a message you are ready to hear, the Queen of Wands wants you to go for your own dreams and will help you commit big time to your passions and your desires. Now that you have a better understanding of these 4 cards, let's go through each of the queens and map them to a person or the people in your life. Some relationships to think about are your parents, caregivers, siblings, extended family, lovers, crushes, friends, frenemies, enemies, coworkers, clients, bosses, mentors, teachers, children, ex-anything, pets, and in-laws. You might have multiple people who match to a single queen. This is okay. During a tarot reading, you're just going to have to choose which of those 2 people or 3 people or however many match that queen card seem the most sense for the situation and the question you're asking. It's a lot easier in practice, especially if you're using that court card map. You may also have more than one queen cards where no one in your life matches. Basically, your court card map is empty for that square, and that's totally okay too. What this means during a tarot reading is that you're going to see that empty space and know that no one in your life matches. So automatically you know that the card is actually talking about a role you need to play or a message you need to hear. And finally, because really people are complicated and some people are going to fit multiple cards. They may be a queen in one area of their life, but they might be a page in a different area. And the better you know someone, the more facets of a person you're going to see. So the more likely they're going to fit in multiple cards. If you can, choose a card that seems most like them, but also make notes on your court card map that they also fit in these other areas. There is absolutely never any right or wrong answer. Just do the best you can to match the people into the queen cards right now using your court card map. And remember, this can change at any time. People change, their relationship to you changes, and your understanding of the tarot also changes. So everything, including this court card map, is going to change. All right, so what did we learn today? We learned that queens are compassionate, strong, internally focused protectors of their world. The energy can be remembered as being a wise protector of, and that energy combines with each of the suits. So the queen is a wise protector of her kindness and her relationships. Queen of Pentacles, a wise protector of resources and her physical world. Queen of Swords, wise protector of justice and fairness. Queen of Wands, a wise protector of her passions, goals, and ideas. Now, if you haven't already, brainstorm the people in your life to the queens. Take a minute now to match those people in your life to your court card map. And leave a comment below if you think that you are a queen in your own life. Do you have any queen energy? Which queen are you? I'd like to think I'm the Queen of Wands sometimes. Sometimes I'm also the Queen of Swords, and frankly, a lot of the time I'm a page. Let's be real. But in your comments, let me know which queen you are or which queen you want to be. And queens are not the only court cards in the tarot deck, though. Of course, there are 12 more court cards, and in this series, we go over them one by one. But check out this next video right here so you can get to know all 4 of the kings and the masters of the tarot. All right, I will see you there.